I'm Tam.
And I'm Bob.
Welcome to our adventure.
So it's 8:30 in the morning. We are on 95 South heading towards Orlando Airport. Jordan's in the back. Emma's driving.
I'm going to take a bite.
What's that?
You always turn to me when I take a bite.
Are you biting now?
Yeah, chewing now.
Okay. Sorry.
When I turn around, I literally have my mouth like this.
We went by Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast on the way to the airport. We have a flight, Delta flight at 11:26 that goes to Minneapolis, St. Paul's, and then we have a layover for a few hours, and then we pick up a flight from Minneapolis, St. Paul to Anchorage and start our Alaska adventure. Pulling into Fest Park here.
They said that we're on a full flight, so they carry on back.
Yeah, so when we get to the gate, they'll be
Go
like,
up, yeah.
and it's better to do it there where like you're next to the plane.
And they know that they don't stay on the plane.
Yeah.
Very well.
Printing our boarding passes. We are through security, and we are ready to head towards the gate. All right, we are at the gate. Our plane is here. Ready to board the plane. We're on board the flight to Minneapolis. Get ready to pull out from the gate.
Welcome aboard, and thank you for flying with Delta. The first leg of our journey to Alaska was a 3-hour and 16-minute Delta Flight 858 with an Airbus A321 jet from Orlando to Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. The flight was fairly comfortable, and Tam and Jordan watched some movies on the seatback entertainment screen, while I followed the flight track and watched the scenery go by out the window. Once we arrive in Anchorage, we'll have a day to explore Anchorage on our own, and then we take the Alaska Railroad train from Anchorage to Seward, where we board Radiance of the Seas for a 7-night Inside Passage southbound journey, which takes us to the Hubbard Glacier. It will take us to Juneau, and then Skagway, Icy Point Strait, Ketchikan, and then a day traveling the Inside Passage before we wind up in Vancouver, where we will try to pick up a prescription that I need to get filled for the World Cruise upcoming later this year. And then we'll take our flight home the next day. Big shout out to all our friends in the Minneapolis-St. Paul's area, especially you, Tony, who we will meet up with later in our adventure. Once we arrived in Minneapolis-St. Paul, we had a 4-hour layover till our connecting flight to Anchorage. We are getting off the plane in Minneapolis.
Hey, oh, well,
sorry.
sorry.
All right, we're in Minneapolis.
You okay? Yep. Sure, yeah, look like okay.
7 is a bad number.
Getting ready to board the flight to Anchorage.
It was the architect that built it.
We'll get ready to board. The second leg was a 4.5-hour flight to Anchorage, Alaska on Delta 517, which is a Boeing 737-900 jet. Tam and Jordan again watched a couple of movies. The in-flight tracking service was not functioning on this leg, so I was unable to track this flight on their system. Fortunately, there was free Wi-Fi for Delta Club members, so I was able to use the app FlightAware to track our progress. As we crossed over the Canadian Rockies, the views became increasingly spectacular outside the window. And continued as we flew over the Alaska Range. There was a period over the Alaska Range where our flight was out of radar communication, but the FlightAware app was able to estimate our position. Our friend Tony, who works for Delta as a flight attendant, passed on to one of his colleagues that we were on this flight, and we appreciate the extra special attention we got. Thank you, Tony. That was very generous. It's about here in the flight journey where we went out of radar range. You'll notice the little plane on the right went from being green to black. It'll go back to green here in a few minutes as we reacquire radar contact from the Alaska side. There we go. This is about where we start our approach into the Anchorage area. You'll notice the change of scenery. Landing in Anchorage, the scenery changed from mountains and glaciers to a lush forest and riverbed as we circled around to land over the Matanuska-Susitna Valley and the Cook Inlet. And welcome to the Ted Stevens International Airport in Anchorage, Alaska.
Alright, we're in Anchorage, off the plane. Feel it's kind of cold here. We have a moose.
Big moose.
Big moose. We're heading to the hotel, and
My face is already frozen. Alaska's airport view.
It's something that
yeah,
just
we're at the hotel. There's large bears in here.
Indeed, it's our kids and grandparents and a bear.
It's Thursday morning. We're in the Wingate Window Hotel in Anchorage, having breakfast, which was pretty standard for hotels. It was eggs and really disgusting sausage. George got cereal, hot chocolate. I had eggs, hot chocolate, and scrambled egg sausage. We have yogurt. We got in last night about 1 o'clock our time, but it was only like 9 o'clock here. We're hungry, so we ordered a pizza from Domino's at like 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern. It was only like 10 here, but we got a Hawaiian pizza with pineapple, ham, and bacon because we were tired and we didn't feel like doing anything. So I don't know if you guys are traveling and get like end of the day, too tired to go out, travel pizza. If you do, what kind of pizza do you get? What's your go-to travel pizza? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see what you guys order. So we're off to explore Anchorage today. We booked trolley tour and then a
trolley passage to the Cultural Heritage Center. That's what we're doing today in Anchorage.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
But now we live in Florida.
Welcome. Hi, how are you?
Here we go.
Good. Where are you from? Ottawa. Wonderful. In 1925, we had an epidemic of diphtheria in Nome. We did not have any of the serum. See the dog statue right at the corner on D Street? That is Balto. Balto was part of the original dog team that helped ferry all of the diphtheria serum up to Nome. And they did it through a series of Pony Express mushers. It was 50th state about 6 months later, but we were number 49. So we refer to everybody else as we're the upper one, they're the lower 48. And you'll hear that in a lot of contexts. This was built, believe it or not, in the East Coast, shipped up here. We really don't understand the monument, but we affectionately refer to it as Ike on a half shell.
They were flying over all the big area with all the little creeks and stuff in it, and so like this is just mud. Okay, I mean we're just going to get mud. They'll call
Down there, we brought it up here. It had one purpose only. It went about 6 miles an hour before the coal trains and goosed the moose out of the way. And it was called the Moose Gooser. And it's actually, that was its job. You get car-sized boulders of ice out here. Rolls in, rolls out. Big shards, huge, 20-foot shards of ice that stick up. A very complicated, in a way, very eerie look of our waterscape out here. Now we have beluga out in this inlet of water. About 600 beluga are in Cook Inlet. Their numbers are dwindling. They're about 12 to 15 feet long. They travel in groups of about 10. They eat salmon, as you see up in here in the corner. A moose, a full-grown moose in Alaska, is 1/3 bigger than any of the moose in the lower 48. Our moose here, when they're fully grown, are about 1,500 pounds. Whoa. A moose rack will cover this entire window, 65 inches. And they'll stand 9 feet at the shoulders. With the rack, they become pretty. It was used to be flat, he said, all the way out. Took the entire world. Remember, we're up here on the ring of fire.
You can see my breath.
1, 2, 3. Very good. Yes?
Reach in the background.
You see that dome building over in the garden? That's exclusively off-putting cement. Because ice skate is plastics. Anyone else?
I think they don't work. They may not work.
Classic hunting season begins right about the 3rd week of August. Moose hunting, caribou hunting, a real big deal. Guys will be dropped off in a lake and then picked up a week later. Yeah.
This is good. Yes.
It is. It's gorgeous.
It is.
Got to try the reindeer,
Absolutely.
except for George, who went with bratwurst.
I couldn't be sure that I would like it. I know I like bratwurst.
I wonder if anybody has any questions. regarding anything about our life in the villages. The reindeer, they have scattered and they joined the caribou herds.
Because they're really big and they take a lot of people to carry them. So just the bigger, the more powerful the plane is. They would have this open up here and you could have this fan float over and come in and it would be able to go to breathing hole so they wouldn't smoke up in here. You can see